Pleasure having you. But I think one of the people that, in addition to our staff who introduced, that you need to know, one person that you need to continue have or establish a relationship with is Felicia. Felicia is in charge with the alumni. She's the one who connects with you, and more than anything else, she doesn't ask for money. She just really, because it's not her job to seek for donation. So her job is really to make sure that you're still connected to the university and know about your, even well-being. And I know I traveled with her when we went to Asia. We prepared the Asian program, and she was the one who sort of gave us the list of alumni that we met when we went on our travel. Felicia, I'll give you a few words to start with, and then we'll go to our alumni. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hamoud. Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Felicia Fernandez. I'm the Director of Alumni Relations. So like Hamoud said, it's my job just to continue to get to know all of you, make sure that you remain connected to the university and to share your story with current students. I know a lot like you didn't know where to start when you first got to Dominguez, and so now our students have you to help them pave the way. You have paved the way, and so our students are following right behind you. And so thank you so much for your support for this program and for future programs. But I'm going to put it in the chat, and so I hope that I can add to it later, but we did start an online mentoring program called Toro Connect. And Toro Connect is where students and alumni can create a profile based on hobbies, interests, and their industry. And with that, students have access to alumni at their fingertips and can ask you any questions and ask alumni from across the world. So I'm not sure where you all are located right now, but we do have Toros all over the world. And so hopefully our alumni our students can connect with those students just for any advice, any guidance that you may all have. It's very impactful for our students and it's very useful to use. But I went ahead and put the Toro Connect link in the chat, so that way I hope wherever you're located, you may be able to join the platform and help current students on their path as well. So, and China, I hope all is well. It's good to see you. Chinaemerem is one of our alumni scholarship recipients, and for his work that he does within Cal State Dominguez Hills and his community. And so super proud of him. And I can't wait to hear what he has been up to along with the rest of you. So stay connected, stay involved. And I hope that this is not the first time that you stay. This is the first of many events that you continue to support your alma mater. So thank you. Thank you, Hamoud.
You're welcome. And Sonia, you had asked for Felicia to speak. Any other things that we need from Felicia?
I'll let her take it from there if she has anything else to add.
We're good.
So we're okay. You didn't have anything else in mind. Okay, cool. So let's start with the program then. And I'm going to just go through the way you are on the screen. And so I don't have any failure. So I'll start with you, Jenny. And they gave me this background about you, but I think I know more about what's in here. I know you graduated from CSUDH. I know you got your computer science degree. I know you are working for a software company, and I know you are very happy with life. And I know you want to contribute so much to the well-being of our students, to back home, all of those wonderful things that you need to do. Let's start by telling us a little bit where you are now, how the transition, how did you transit to this since you left Cal State Dominguez Hills?
Sure, Dr. Salhi. So I joined Cal State Dominguez Hills back in 2018 for my master's in computer science. And originally, I expected, I had a lot of fears when I joined in, but it was a pretty smooth process compared to what I thought of it to be. And after that, I graduated in May 2020. So the moment I graduated, I was pretty much, lucky enough to have already been placed at a software company. So I was working as a software engineer at Amazon once I graduated, and it was based out of Seattle. that went good. And then, like, after working there for like a little over a year and a half, I got a good opportunity to work at JP Morgan. So I transitioned from Amazon to working at JP Morgan. And I feel that, whatever I am right now, like throughout the entire, like all the places that I worked everywhere, I feel that, like somewhere or the other CSUDH has helped me to what I am right now. So yeah, like right now I'm working for JP Morgan.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're so happy. And I'll continue with Chinaemerem. How are you doing? And tell us how you got here, how the transition has been, and how do you connect with Dominguez Hills?
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Chinaemerem. I joined Casa Dominguez Hills back in 2015, August of 2015, and I got my bachelor's degree in mathematics. While I was at Casa Dominguez Hills, it was a really wonderful experience for me. And that is why I try my best to make sure that if there's anything that I can come back to DH for, like I always come back, because being there was one of like the greatest gifts for me in terms of like, I didn't even realize that I was an international student. Like everything was like pretty smooth, and I enjoyed every bit of my stay at Dominguez Hills. I graduated back in December 2019. And I worked for Unify Credit Union as a host operator, more of like their IT department. And I worked there for close to a year. And I went back to school for my master's. So I got my master's from National University in San Diego, and I got my master's in data science. And I had just graduated back in July. So right now I am just like currently like surfing the job market to see how things are over there. It's been a little crazy, but I know like I'm gonna get it, because the layoffs and everything is just making things like really, really crazy. So, but I'm hoping to like get in somewhere soon. I've been talking to a couple of recruiters, and it's been really wonderful. And I'm gonna point out one particular, not like my favorite or anything, but all my stay at Dominguez Hills, I want to show like a lot of appreciation to Dr. Gary Rhodes. I know I don't think he's part of the extended education anymore, right? But I had like he was more of like there with me like most of the times when I had like a tough time going on at Dominguez Hills, and I just want to like put it out there that I really like show my appreciation. And I want to show appreciation to you, to Felicia. It's just been really wonderful. I always try to like come back and come back to DH once in a while. So I'm currently in Illinois. Once I come back, I'm gonna try to visit before Christmas, before this semester ends. Yeah.
So I really, really appreciate it. So Dr. Gary Rhodes, he went back to faculty. He's the chair of the one program in the College of Education.
Yeah.
And initially I thought you were in San Diego. So I thought by saying you serve in the job market, I thought more of it doesn't fit the visual. You were serving and enjoying life. But being in Illinois, that's a good visual. So you're actually looking for jobs.
Yeah. I said I'm surfing.
Yeah. I'm trying to be funny, but it didn't work out. Yeah. Let me move to Anand. And Anand, you were one of the people that I worked very, very closely. There was another person too. But a lot of stuff that you did at the Casa Dominguez Hills are still here. I think I'm so glad you kept in touch. You came back and visited us. It was really, really nice. And tell us a little bit where you are now, and how are you enjoying life, and how are you connected to CSUDH?
So thanks for inviting me, Dr. Hamoud. Hey guys, so I am currently in Austin. I'm a cybersecurity expert and work as an industrial implementation engineer with SailPoint. We are the global leaders of identity and access management. And so I'm connected to CSUDH very deeply because Dr. Hamoud was the first person I ever met in America. August 18th, 2018 at 4:23 p.m.
Yeah.
So, and also Dr. Hamoud is my first ever boss. So the first ever job I have ever gotten is with the extended education as the assistant for the then TSO, Ms. Darlene. And then I was the assistant to Anessa as well. During our COVID times, we developed a lot of programs to help the international students as much as we could. And then I graduated with a master's in computer science with specialization in networking. And since then, I've been working with SailPoint. I got my job while I was at the university and moved directly from the campus to Austin. Unfortunately, the day I moved to Austin was the day of the snowstorm, the very famous Texas snowstorm. And it was a doozy. We didn't have water for like almost 2 days after I moved. But yeah, I have been enjoying my life. Austin, the weather is amazing. I believe it is the only place other than Los Angeles where we can call heavenly weather. You can see a bright, sunny 120 degrees to rain and a snowstorm on the same day.
Wonderful, Anand, and we'll come back. Sharmista, we talked a little bit earlier. Tell us a little bit about your background and where you are and your connection to DH.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Salhi, and hi, everyone. This is Sharmista, and I currently work as a software developer at CDK Global. So it all started back in 2019 when I came to CSUDH to pursue my master's. So came all the way from, I came from India, and, the first few days were definitely tough, missing home, everything. But once I was in the campus, we had the first thankfully COVID didn't hit for the first 6 months. So I did get to enjoy a few months in college. So that experience I would cherish for a lifetime. I got to interact with all the other international community, the entire ISS office, and we used to have these meet and greet sessions, but soon I got used to so many things that I never really missed home after that. So the campus became my new house, and it was an amazing experience. And I would want to thank Dr. Salhi and Anissa, because you guys have helped me a lot. I still remember that day when I got an internship at CDK and I was struggling with a lot of paperwork. You guys made my life really easier, and I would one or the other way thank you for, like, where I am today. It's because of you. Because if that day my paperwork and any other documentation wasn't smooth, because being an international student, you have a lot of difficulty with, you have multiple I-20s, you have CPT, you have OPT, you have every possible documentation listed. So it's not easy to keep up with any of that. And I know I've bugged all of you guys a lot for all of that. But yeah, really thanks for having that faith in me and dealing everything with so much patience. And yeah, soon after college, I had to move to Portland for my work, and it was pretty difficult in the beginning. Like, new city, new people, you don't really know anyone in the new city. And the worst part is when you actually have to work from home, like almost all the days. So I never really got to make friends initially, but later on, now I have an entire community here whom I can reach out. So it was a great transition. The initial ride was bumpy, but it was all worthwhile. And I do miss DH, and I call it home, more like. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help or, be there
in any event or anything to support CSUDH, because it gave me a lot, and I think it's time I return back.
Oh, you're so wonderful, and it was always a pleasure working with you, and we're so glad, and Anessa will testify that with no issues whatsoever for making it what you are. And I know Felicia is listening. She's the one who is gonna sort of the first one who is gonna reach out to you. Yeah, and thank you. I really thank you, Libby. So Libby came to my office, started working with us. She started doing some work for me only, and she was really great. She did a lot. I'm gonna. So she was really great. She did a lot of stuff. We worked together, and then for some reason she decided to join NSI to work for the student services. At that point, she ignored us. So it was, just working, doing all that stuff. But she was really good, as you know. Some of you who didn't know her. She connected us very well with the students, and we still have those connections to her because of her. And personally, I know one thing: when I was behind emails or needs to be done, Libby was in my office to ask me about it. Did you do it? And she'll bug me all the time. So it was pleasant to have you around. At that time, it was not really pleasant. Libby, you should know. Yeah, but. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Listen, go ahead and tell us where you are now. I know you're doing very well, and your connection to DA so far. And we'll come back to you later on for a few questions. Yeah, go ahead, Libby.
I might not have a full-on time for the whole session, but if you want to ask me questions now, then that's fine. Anyhow, hi, my name is Libby, and everyone seems to have one specific country they're from. Unfortunately, I do have a couple. I'm a mixed child with Ghana from Africa, and I'm also Japanese from Japan. So a lot of you are focused on what I might call it, computer science, the nice, you can find your work like within a year. But for me, I was more in the general education, business administration focused in entrepreneurship, which I loved, but I had to actually take a long path to get to where I'm at. So some of you might follow the path, as Dr. Salhi mentioned, that I am probably the troublemaker because I never follow rules. So I'm here for 9 years, and I finally got my bachelor's degree because I was wandering around the world thinking what I really wanted to do. So I started from Merced, and then I moved to Nebraska, and after that, I decided to come back to Fresno, and because it was too cold in Nebraska, then I finally finished my AA. It took me about 5 years, and then that's the time I realized, okay, I want to start my own business. So I start looking into what I really want to do after I got my AA and finding a job that will actually help me get there. So my first step was I got the OPT with my AA degree. And then after that I was like, okay, I want to get my BA so I can learn farther. That's when I met CSUDH. Emiko, who is the former worker at the office, because I speak Japanese and because we connected with our own language, as many of you can actually relate to speak your own languages, to have that special connection. She actually helped me through the process of like how I can start my schooling at CSUDH. And my first day at the orientation, it's not even the first day of school. The first day of orientation, I walked up to her and I was like, can I work under you? Because I want to learn a lot about international students and the process. And she goes, you have to talk with Dr. Salhi. I can't make the full-on decision. So that's when I went and met Dr. Salhi. We had a really fun interview, in my opinion, not too strict or like formal, but he actually asked a really strict question that a lot of you might not have the answer to. But it's like a really good way of just pulling who you really are and make you think at that moment what you want and what you're looking for. So I did work at the office for about 2.5 years, Dr. Salhi.
Yeah.
I guess. And within that time, some of them have retired. So Emiko have retired, and we had new staff members, Vanessa. At the time, we had Dosha, we had Alma came in, and Rachel and Arman was always there as the OG. They always are the backup to just support the whole office. And I actually learned a lot through each one of you, which I'm really grateful for, because there are times that I don't understand. And also Anand was actually, we call it the senpai in Japanese, who were there before me that were actually trained me in a sense for many things. So we actually had a really good fun time. And after he graduated, I was pretty much kind of took your spot, Anand, but not as good as you. So after that, we actually were able to create a student ambassador program with the staff member, and we were able to have that, as Dr. Sahi mentioned, we were able to connect the dot together so the international student can feel more welcome from the office and have more events. And that was really fun to plan. So yeah, right now I am a social media coordinator for a small event company, because all I planned was actually doing events in the office. And I'm also, as my major entrepreneurship, I have actually started and formed a business to help international students, which would be launched soon. So I'm actually excited. And not to be mentioned that the CSUDH would be my first client, parentheses of like pilot plans. I'm really excited to work with the new incoming student along with the school. And I'm actually living my American dream, to be honest, whatever that means, because you guys already know it's a lot of struggle to get there. But I think the process is the fun part of getting there. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Thank you so much, Libby. I know you have, do you have time for questions?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we open it for questions to anyone in the audience, and especially the wonderful people that you come to know. Anessa, do you have a question for Libby? She said some good things about you, by the way.
She did. She did. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Libby. Libby, do you want to talk about your business that you're starting?
Oh yeah, for sure. So as we all know, it's really hard to find housing in the United States, because one, we don't know where we're going to. You can't really trust anyone, but at the same time, people will just take advantage of you. If you're like, it's like a lottery, right? So you go to a different place, you don't know what you're going into. So if you find a good people, like you won the lottery, but if you don't, then you're like, okay, I need to find a different lottery so I can win. So my business is focused on helping international students find their housing during their study in the United States. The name is Libby's Home. Within this program, I'm actually trying to connect with the university, because I strongly believe the university should be part of helping students to find their, quote, safe home. So with that said, I want to be, or I am the middleman to pretty much help students to find the right home by vetting the area, which is more trustworthy. And if you go through me, you know, at least you're getting this, because I will not put any, cover around it to make it nice and pretty. I'm going to give it as how it is, because I don't want any student coming out there and being surprised. There is a reality that we also have to go through. And to ask to our guests today, how many of you were actually told certain things that you were actually wished someone told you before you arrived, right? Like there's so many things that we go through and find it, which is part of the journey. But there are some specific things that I wish someone would told me before. So I want to be an auntie for international students that who comes here and just be that person that they can run into. So pretty much Libby's Home is to provide the housing and also be supportive as a family member or as a big organization for international students.
So where are you in that process, Libby, in terms of making that happen?
So I am official. I have my business license. I am in the process working with the office along with Dr. Sahi to reach out to the new income students who have been accepted and decided to come for spring 2023. in CSUDH.
Right. Thank you so much. One more question from the audience, then I'll move to Sharmista. Anyone else? Let's see. I don't see all the screen, so if you jump in, if you have a question. Okay. I don't see any questions. Libby, anything else you want to add? And then you could leave us anytime you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the message to the student is what it is. So to be blunt, there's going to be struggles. To be fair, we all have to deal with the same struggle at some point. And being international student, we face difficulty. We face social justice sometimes, depends on what situation you're in. But that is, you have to understand that's the reality in this country or maybe at different countries. So what I want to send a message to student is, there's going to be time that you don't want to do your homework because you're going to wait last minute. There's going to be time that you just want to, you rush through things to make decision like this because you feel the pressure of everyone given to you when you really don't have to rush. You always have to step back and face what's going on in front of you, which have helped me. And it took me about 2-3 years to get there after I arrived to the country. It's really good to always step back and make sure that you're making the right decision. So that would be my message to the students and to myself.
Thank you, Libby. It's a pleasure. I'm so glad you joined us. And listen, we are not far. Feel free to come and visit us. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And I know you're pressed by time, so we want to be considerate of your time. Sharmista, let me get you back sort of to what you're doing now, and we're so proud of your accomplishment. And can be happy for I tell you how much we're happy when you look at your sort of undergraduate studies back home, your graduate studies here, and then getting that job. What was one of the thing that you think other students should use? Like, for example, what did it for you? Like, for example, I can tell you when I worked in the Gulf region, I was working for an English newspaper. What got me marketable is the fact that I was speaking an Arabic, a native Arabic speaker, and I was writing politics and understanding American politics. So that language skill helped me sort of succeed, or so I claim. I don't know if I was successful. So I'm trying to look at, when you look at your trajectory, how you get here, what was one thing that you think others should look at? Yeah, if you have any, if you don't, you're already good, so we're okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have. So I will tell one thing. Back in when I was doing my undergraduate, I was in electronics. I had an electronics degree in bachelor's, and I did master's in computers. So I would tell one thing, that, you're going to, no one is going to come and spoon feed you. No one is going to know, none of your professors or, nothing in college. What you learn in college is going to be completely different from what you're going to, most of the part is going to be different from what you're going, the outside world when you go out. The way you deal with is different. In your college or during your education, you're in a very safe space. Like, you know what you have to do. You have a specific timetable. When you come out, you're all by yourself. You have to know everything by yourself. You have to learn and try to manage everything. I know, I mean, when I was doing my degree in undergraduate is different from what I did it in master's. So I had to actually work twice harder than the other students because I didn't have an undergraduate in the same degree in the same field. So when you know that that's something that you really need to want it, or you need to get it, All you have to do is work hard, work smart, just work, keep going. There is nothing called, there are going to be times where you will feel that, oh no, you know what, this is so stressful, I can't move one step ahead. There will be days where you will just want to hold back and shut everything down. But you know what, you just have to, work is work. When you have a goal, when you have an aim of, want to be a software engineer, want to be a VLSI design engineer, or you want to be a graphic designer, whatever it is, like, no matter what, if you think that on day one, that if you think that, this is what I would go ahead and accomplish, just keep going. You should never stop at something just because you've got a hurdle, or just because you don't have clarity. There is going to be, you're going to miss clarity on so many things while you're studying, while you're doing your assignments, while, you're giving your mids and your finals. You're like, oh, I didn't even read this. Like, I think in masters, if there is something that I've learned, that's nothing, even if it's going to be an open book test, the professors will be like, you can open your book, that confident they are, like, you're not going to get anything from the book. So learn beyond it, think beyond it, do your own research, anything, do your own research. There is everything on internet these days, YouTube, Udemy, or Coursera, there are a lot of websites and sites that really help. There are books, and one more thing I would say, talk to your seniors. They are going to be our guardian angels during the time of distress. There are a couple of who are now my friends. They helped me throughout, like seniors, and not just from your college, like maybe if you've previously worked, seniors from there, because experience that matters. The advice that you get from an experienced person, because they've already seen that thing, they've passed through that stage. So that guidance is different from what you get from a person who don't have that. So I would say, talk to your seniors. Always, guidance is important. Self-learning is like a must, and research, like everything. And keep going, like never stop. It's going to be tough, but if you got to do it, you have to do it. There is no looking back. So this is what I have been following. And I mean, there were really times in, even, while I was doing my master's, when I look back and like, how did I, pass all these degrees? I mean, like, it's so tough. But it's not. The way you look at it, the perspective matters.
It's wonderful, Sharmista. Yeah, those are really great advice. I mean, keep at it, persevere. One thing that stood out is that the world is different from the one at the university, and that you have to be prepared, but don't give up. I think those are very, very important ones. Yeah.
And never think that there's going to be someone who's going to help you out. Trust me. You are for you. No one's going to come when you fall down. People will guide you through, people will assist you, but it's going to be you who has to get up, take that step forward.
So you have to, you have to do that.
Yeah, you're by yourself, and you learn a lot. I think, Dr. Salhi, I've realized something in life, that even though there are a lot of people who would say, oh, you know what, don't do this, or, this is not a great idea, you would still want to do it, and you will learn that it's a bad idea only when you do it and fail at it.
So true. You speak like a computer scientist who is always interested in innovation, creating new things, going after the challenges, not accepting things without, for face value. Yeah. No, you're so correct. Sharmista, thank you so much. We'll come back to you. Yeah. Anand, I know one of the things I learned from you is that you were always bringing new ideas. You were always very, very quick in delivering what I ask. And you're always sort of willing to do that extra mile. I remember working with you way after 8 p.m. And this is after I called you around 5 o'clock or something. You came down from the house, and so you have that experience of what Sharmista was talking about, the idea, the drive, the wanting to explore new ideas. What stood out for you? Of course, you lived in Oman, you lived in many other sort of cultures. So now that you look at it, what is it one thing that you think you would leave you would see others, you would advise others, international students, to sort of hold on to and be always mindful of that?
So as Dr. Hamoud would advocate for me, I have always been the kind of student who would participate in literally every single event that we would put together. And to be honest, actually host most of them. The thing I would say to all of our international fellows would be to participate, to go out on all the trips that the international organization is putting together, or the Alumni Association is putting together, or associated students are putting together. The fact that I have seen students who just come, they study, they get their 4.0 GPAs, get really nice jobs, and that's not the point of being an international student. The most important part here is to learn other cultures. And the easiest way to do it is to go out, meet people. Like when I came to the US, I was a complete introvert. Like I wouldn't be able to speak like I am speaking right now. And Dr. Hamoud actually caught this, and he kind of, I'm the only person on this call who actually has gotten fired by Dr. Hamoud. So I got an opportunity to be a lecturer at CSUDH for the cybersecurity department. And hence I got fired because I didn't want to go work there, and I wanted to continue with the internationals. And he was like, okay, no, go there. Like leave your introvertness behind. You will know how to talk to people and come back, and it'll be easier for you. So I did that. The best thing I'll tell you again is just go out, meet with other people. You will learn so much more. You will make so many new friends that the world itself will become your home. You will never be alone in another city. Like right now, after coming to CSUDH, my best friends live in Hamburg in Germany, in Mannheim. I have friends in Serbia. I have friends in Cape Town, quite literally every city in America. Like I moved to Austin, and before I moved, I had 3 friends from CSUDH who already live in Austin. So if you just go out, you're an international student. You are the person from outside. You are the one who needs to learn the most, right? So when you meet, you know people, the entire planet becomes your home. And I feel like that is the most important thing about being an international student or being in international education. That's the whole point.
So is the bird an international student?
Yes, that bird is from Colombia.
Oh, okay. Okay. So so wonderful to see you, Anand. And Chinaemerem, how are you doing? I know you were so much involved in student activities. You and I connected several times on university business and international students. The same thing, when you look at your background, your undergraduate studies, your graduate studies, you being international students, what stood out for you? What would you tell an international students? Keep this, use this, and you'll be fine.
Hi, once again. For me, kind of like the summary of pretty much what they have my fellow international students has said earlier. It's more of like how Anand said, participate. For me, when I came here, I had like a very, very like strong accent, and there was no point, like I couldn't communicate because it's like when I say something, no one really understands what I say, you know? So I remember one time, I think it was the first day or the second day when I came, I was communicating with someone. I forgot her name. I don't know if you remember Liat,
Of course, she's back on campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's super cool. So I was
Yeah.
talking to Leia, and we were talking in English, right? And then she was like, "Where are you from?" Blah blah blah. And then she was like in terms of Nigeria, do they speak English? And I was like, so have I been speaking Spanish the whole time? So it's like, so, you know, it's like my English was like really, really like strong, you know? So I had to join the orientation, the outreach and school relations, so that I could be giving tours to students, you know, to kind of like make sure that I'm always like talking every time. So from there, I joined, I became a tutor at the Tutor Learning Center, just to like, you know, just to keep up with like my improving my English and all that. And then I joined ASI. I was in ASI for 2 years. The first time I was the international students representative. And then the other time I was the vice president of finance. So I was pretty much like, I try to like be involved on campus. And one of my takeaways is that there's something that I usually work with. I learned it when I was still back in Nigeria. It's an adage that says, when your parents depend on you, you don't play the same game as those who depend on their parents. So that was like how I survived at DH, because I saw myself in the midst of like everybody, most of them are American citizens and all that, right? And they get financial aid, they get this, they get that, and that was not my case, you know. So I try to like figure out like, what am I gonna do to still be in their midst, but also try to do something very differently. So with my participation and involvement and everything, I found out about the alumni. I applied for the scholarship. And fortunately enough for me, I got it. I didn't know I was going to get it, but I got it. And so it was really a wonderful thing at DH. So my main takeaway is for international students who are currently there, who are going to be there, is for them to try to participate as much as they can. And then for them to know that back to my adage, like, do not play, like if your parents depend on you, do not play the same game as those who depend on their parents, which means like we have to like work extra hard to get to where we want to get to, because it's a lot tougher. Like realistically speaking, it's actually a lot tougher for us who are international students to get certain things than for the people whose home is here, you know.
And I could not stress it more, Chinaemerem. I think every international students, particularly those who come from third world countries, we all have that responsibility, and it's you know, it's an incentive. It's a lot of things. That's what pushes you to be more successful. And you know, we're blessed with parents, and we have to take care of them. So that's really a sound advice. Yeah. Jenny, I know you did a lot of things, and I'm so happy to see you successful. We still have your Excel sheets, by the way, but ALCP students, and you really showed, you know, you were students, but you did so many things for us. Well, at ALCP, you were the person who actually done everything there. I want to ask you the same thing. When you reflect about your studies in India, your graduate work in the US, your job now, what is something that you would say, you know, do this and you'll be okay, or this worked for me? Go ahead, please.
First of all, I'm really glad that the work that I did at ALCP is still helping you out, even after like a couple of years down the line. And like one thing that I can't stress enough for all the students out here is that, you know, you have to build connections as much as you can, because like, you know, like when you move here, you're all alone. And then like, you might have a lot of questions while you're moving here. Even for myself, when I was at the point when I was going to move here, I was trying to find people who already studied here. And, you know, because I had so many questions, like, even the dumbest questions like, how did you manage to get groceries, or even anything like that. But like a year after, when I worked at the ISS, I know Dr. Salhi was planning about having a program where we as student assistants would connect with other prospective students and, help them resolve their questions or what doubts they have. So like, I feel that, like you should build connections as much as you can. And even if, like you meet any random people on campus, don't hesitate to go and reach out to them, talk to them, build connections. If nothing, you'll at least, make good friends. Also, like, like we have a lot of events going on campus. You might come across job fairs in LSUs. So, like don't step back that, oh, you never know if the company that you want to be in is even visiting our campus or not. Like, don't think so much, just go in there, talk to people out there, see what opportunities they have. You never know what might work out for you. So, just focus on that. And then even throughout the process, I know like finding a job after you graduate is really hard, but if you build more connections like over the time, it's going to help you some way or the other, even but like, with the process of filing for OPT, getting the AD card or whichever questions you have. Like you meet so many people on campus, you have ISS department to help you out always. So just reach out to people, don't hesitate. And, that's how you'll make your way much more easier.
Well, thank you so much, Jenny. And those are really, really sound slides from you and from everybody. Let me open it to the audience, to our staff and other people who are attending. Any question you might have, please do. Please either raise your hand or just step in. Or you could leave it on the chat. That's also works as well. It could work as well. Anyone? Felice you sent, thanks for the note about Chinaemerem being modest. I know he has a banner. How can we get one too?
Well, it's a new campaign now, but Chinaemerem was a part of our banner campaign, the I'm a Toro's banner campaign, where we featured alumni and students who aspire to be to have the same or similar professions as our alumni. And Chinaemerem was matched with, and who was also nominated and recommended by our faculty, and he was selected and paired with our alumnus, John Binkley, who is the STARS director at the Aerospace Corporation, and who is also a math major. And so he paired, China, we still haven't forgotten about you. We still have your banner. We'll make sure that you get it. But to this day, you are on a banner on campus, but it's for a whole nother campaign. So just know you're still here. You're still with us.
Yeah, I actually made a very, very quick stop at DH yesterday. Very quick. It was like a 10-minute stop because the current ASI president, his Obi, yeah, he's Nigerian. So I had to like pick up something from him real quick because I had a flight to catch. So I had to make a really quick stop, and then I saw the banner in front of Watch Hall.
Yeah. See you every day.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you should post it.
I will.
Yeah, if you send it to us, we'll post it for you too.
Okay.
It will be much better coming from us than you. So it will not be self-promotion.
Okay.
But do post it, yeah. Anyone else who has a question? Ravi, is this Ravi asking a question? Ravi?
Yes, Professor. I mean, I don't have any questions right now, but I'd like to thank the seniors who shared the knowledge and shared their thoughts. And I personally thank Sri Sharmista because she's the one who I contacted with when I first came to DH via LinkedIn. And yeah. Personally, I would like to thank her and other people who shared their knowledge and thoughts. That's it.
So Ravi is our student assistant, Sharmista, so you know. You and I could talk privately on how he's doing well, but if you talk to Anessa, she could give you all the secrets. For one thing, he's not like you or anybody on this team here. Yeah, he has different qualities. Yeah. But no, it's been really a pleasure having him. I'm glad, Ravi, to have you. Anyone else who has a question? Sonia, you have a question?
I'm just delighted to meet international students here at DH, but I guess I would say like I'm always curious about maybe the couple of people or like the one or two people or maybe more that really helped you get through the difficult times when you were an international student, because we all know that there's a lot of challenges to studying here. So who helped you when you were needing help as an international student?
Jenny, you might want to start, and then we go around since we're one. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be an institution. It could be a program, something that affects you, sort of somebody who provide you with some assistance. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like Darlene helped me when I joined the institute, and then Dr. Hamoud was always there whenever we needed any kind of help, and he always treated us like like his own children, and made sure that we felt that we have someone to look up to, that if we've come across any of the questions. So, and for our computer science department, it was Dr. Beheshti who was there to help us out, plan which subjects to take up and how do we want to plan to graduate. So there were these two people who, like really contributed towards any questions or any difficulties that we faced.
Thank you, Jenny. Those are really nice words. Chinaemerem?
For me, actually, like I have a lot. It's a whole list, and my list starts with Dr. Gary Rhodes, who was really I don't know how to explain it, but he was just there to make sure that I was fine, because at some point I had issues with my aunt, who was my sponsor. My auntie at that time was sick, but she died in 2021. So I was living with my aunt for a while, but when we had issues, because it was kind of like a mental health issue for my aunt, Dr. Gary Rose actually visited my aunt. Starts with Dr. Gary Rose, Dr. Hamoud. I remember like coming to you and you were like, have you met these people? Do you know these people? Like just giving me some resources on campus. My connection with Felicia was when, with the whole alumni stuff, I just kind of felt like I became like very close. I kind of had that connection with alumni even when I haven't even graduated. It was like a wonderful like experience for me. ASI, Associated Students Incorporated, they were like a very big part of my success at Dominguez Hills, because through ASI, I was able to have a really wonderful connection with the university president, the provost, Dr. Spagna, Dr. Franklin, and major like university cabinet. So then Toro Learning Center. From there, that was where one of my employment were. So I was kind of like making some money from Toro Learning Center, taking care of myself and sending some money back home to help my family back home. Also the outreach and school relations, which was my first employment at Dominguez Hills. And then and then Darlene was very helpful. I remember when I was trying to apply for my OPT towards graduation, for some reason, I kind of like conflicted the time I got my SAT to the time I got my passport. So I kind of like mixed up the two. So I didn't know that my passport was going to expire like in a month. And that was not going to let me apply for OPT, but Darlene was like, you have to check, So she was always there to like do the extra things. And then when she checked, it was like my passport was going to expire like pretty soon. So from there, I had to like, when I left Darlene's office, I had to go book a flight to New York to go renew my passport. So also, you said Liat is back on campus. When I came earlier, Liat was the first person that I actually met when I came to Dominguez Hills. So like it's a whole list. So I'm very grateful to everyone, the names I mentioned and the ones I didn't mention. But like I said, I'm definitely going to make a quick stop at Dominguez Hills, probably by the first week of December, to just make sure, like, I say hi to everybody.
Wonderful. And I know somebody already made a quick stop is Anand. Anand, your turn.
Hey guys, so for me, it is again a whole list of people, specifically Dr. Hamoud, Ormond, Rachel, because I frequently have mental breakdowns when things don't go my way. And I remember just walking up to Ormond and be like, Ormond, do you have a minute? I'm having a mental breakdown here. And then we would just discuss and I would be normal and go back to work. And with Dr. Hamoud, who showed me around all the good places to eat around the campus, specifically Green Olive, the Big Boy Burger on the corner. And Darlene also, because like we were working together, we used to sit like 3 feet apart and we would have all these discussions like, oh, so in the class, I got scolded by the professor because I didn't write the answer in the way he wanted me to write. And she would be like, oh yeah, you should just, ignore it.
Yeah. So Sharmista, your turn.
Yeah, so I have a list of people that I would like to thank, and starting with you, Dr. Salhi. As I told you, have been a great support when I actually needed you. You, Anissa, I know. I mean, that was the time where I was like, at the verge of, almost losing my job, and I mean, not job, but the offer that I had, and you guys really, really helped me out. I can never thank you any less. So yeah, I mean, most of the other guys here, I mean, I didn't get much chance to interact with you all, but I really want to thank all of you, because without any of your support, nothing would have been possible. And from CS department, I would like to thank Dr. Beheshti, our chair, and Dr. Han, one of our faculty, Dr. Roman Tankelwich. Amazing people. Like, when there was, when things are literally going down, these are the people who helped me, you lifted me up, and they're like, okay, it's okay, things will go bad, but you have to go ahead. And they really helped me out in every which way. And yeah, ISS is true love, I would say. I mean, even though everything aligns, but if the last part where you have to get the the sign off part, if that doesn't go well, everything else collapses. So you guys are like the pillars to whatever we do. So I think I'm really glad to have been associated with such amazing people. And yeah, mostly Dr. Salhi and Anissa have been amazing. Yeah.
We really feel the same way for all one of you. Rachel, a question?
Yes, I do have a question for all of you. And I've been on the same boat many years ago, being an international student. And so I wanted to ask you, when you look back to your younger self, I know you're not very old, when you started at Dominguez Hills, or when you started at that community college, when you came to the United States, when you look back, what is one thing you're proud of yourself from all those years you've spent in the United States? Like, is it overcoming culture shock, or just learning that you have a voice, or just what is that one thing that you look back and say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I can do this. I thought when I came here, I won't be able to do that.
I would like to start this one, Dr. Salhi. Sorry.
Go ahead, Anand.
So Rachel, if you remember on our orientation, the first day I saw you, I am a person who could not talk to people. Like I'm an extreme case of being an introvert. The thing I'm proud of is making friends. Like the friends I have made at CSUDH, even though I haven't seen them in like, 3 years now, we literally talk every day. So Dr. Hamoud, if you remember, Alex, Joanna, Lena, we still talk every single day. And in fact, the fact is like Alex and Lena kind of visit me every few months. So they fly all the way from Frankfurt to Austin just to roam around the place.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Who can go next?
I can go.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, Jenny, you can go.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, 22 years of my life, I had stayed in a single city with my parents, and I had never moved away from my house. And it was like even I used to never go out for a trip no more than like a week or so. And I was so scared to move here because I was literally moving countries. And when my dad sent me here, he was like, if you don't like it, just come back in 3 months, you're okay, you can skip the degree. But I was very skeptical on if I'll be able to make through it or not, like, staying over here away from the family, and how am I going to do? So I really feel that that is one thing that, like, I'm proud of, that I could make it, I could finish my degree, and here I am now still living away from the family, and, I made it through.
So wonderful. Sharmista?
Yeah, for me, like back when I just finished my undergrad, and then I started working, like I worked for a very brief period at TCS, again as a software engineer before I came to DH. So I never really had a thought of actually pursuing masters or, doing something else. I was like, oh, you have that rush of, just finished 4 years of college, let's get into the corporate work. I actually started missing the education part, and I was not very sure if I had to actually, go ahead pursue masters. I was in my doubt. I had my doubts. And it was my parents. They're like, you got to get out. Do go achieve whatever that you have. Go study, do a PhD, do a master's, do whatever you want, but don't just stop. So now when I look back, I would say myself experiment, like, I always feared to try something new back. I was very, I used to follow standard practices, or, this has to be done this way. No, I ask myself today, why not? So I don't take a step back to experiment or try something new. I'm more open to so many things now. I mean, I think I've made a lot of connections. I speak to a lot of people on a daily basis, and yeah, I think you learn a lot from others than anything else. So yeah, never fail to experiment anything new. And always be open to so many things that you think that you would never be doing any of that. So
yeah, thank you, Sharmista. Chinaemerem, you go ahead, please.
So for me, what I'm most proud of is my being able to come here, learn about how things work here, and being able to take my knowledge back home to my family. Recently, earlier this year, I lost my father. And now it's more of like, with the culture and everything, I kind of like act as the father to my siblings, right? And I'm able to, because of the experience that I've gotten here, I've been able to use that in handling certain family issues and stuff that come up back in Nigeria. So it's just that's for, like, there's a way we say it in Nigeria, like, go out there and be a man, right? So that kind of like happened to me, where now I'm able to, like, I'm in a situation whereby I have to like take care of a lot of things, and with my experience here, it has really helped me to be able to like do that with kind of like some sort of ease, you know.
That's really fantastic. I know you just asked a question, Rachel. Before I get to Anissa, any other thoughts? Rachel?
No, I don't have any other thoughts, but I just have to say that it is a journey as you start here. moving from one place to another, or from one city to another. And we find this, when we look at coming here to the United States, we see it as an opportunity. And I always find it that every year I always find something exciting, or I learned something personally that I didn't know about a few months ago. So keep your opportunities open, your mind open for great opportunities, and don't limit yourself because you have everything to make you a successful person and to also enrich someone's life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been really a wonderful opportunity meeting you. I can't tell you how proud we are. I could see the confidence. And then the good thing about you, you're so humble, modest, and you are truly, truly a champion of DH. And I can't tell you how lucky we are, and I could speak on behalf of our staff, Felicia, and everyone on this phone. So thank you so much for making this week enjoyable. And because this ends our week activities, the best person to lead us out is Anessa. Anessa has been sort of behind the organization of this meeting. And since you did a fantastic job, I'm going to push her to have you back next year at the same time. And probably we do it live on campus in person. But I definitely will support her in getting you back. Anessa, thank you so much for the work you did this week. You really put us on the map, and most than anything else, you helped bring these people together, and thinking about this event is a fantastic idea. Please go ahead, and thank you all, and please come and visit, send me an email or whatever, and if you need anything from here, it's all taken care of. I just see you as my daughters and sons, but friends as well. So yeah, so Jenny, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Anessa.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure to once again echo what Dr. Salhi mentioned. We are so happy to be able to have you guys come back and talk about your experience while you're at DH, but also everything that you guys have accomplished. And I think you guys should be really proud of yourselves. And for us, I mean, it's exciting to see you all flourish and all of your development and all of that stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. International Education Week for our office is really an opportunity to really demonstrate and be able to shine. Sometimes for us, I would say, our international student population is really small in comparison to our actual campus population. So this is really an opportunity for us to highlight you all, but also the work and everything that brings our office together. And I think for us, it's exciting to be able to celebrate, what we do and all that. And this week has been great, and we're really excited to continue doing this every year, I should say, as well as inviting you all back, as we want to see where you're at, hopefully in a year from now. So thank you all for joining us, and that basically concludes International Education Week.